Hello everybody. Welcome all you Spirit Play children and parents who are watching today. We're going to be doing a Spirit Play story for you. I'm Miss Allison and Miss Betty says hi. We're going to get started by doing our chalice lighting and our chalice lighting poem. So we will light the chalice here, and you can help me with the words to the chalice lighting poem. We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the loving heart. This is the church of the helping hands. Together we care for our earth and work for peace and friendship in our world. And we're going to sing the Love Surrounds Me song. You may not remember it, or maybe you didn't learn it yet. Just hum along if you don't know the words or the tune, and we'll all get it. Love surrounds me, this I know, for my spirit tells me so. All of us to love belong. It fills our hearts and makes us strong. Yes, love surrounds me. Yes, love surrounds me. Yes, love surrounds me. My spirit tells me so. Now, here is our wonder box. And I wonder what could be in the wonder box that will have something to do with this story today. Let's take the lid off of the wonder box and see what's in it. Oh, see. Yes, that looks like a baseball to me. Huh. I wonder what a baseball has to do with today's story. Let's see if we can find out. When I ring the chime, the story will begin right after. Today's story is called A Lesson for Martin Luther King Jr. So let's find out what Martin Luther King Jr. learns about in this story. Martin Luther King Jr. was an American hero. But this is a story about him as a young boy. One day, he came home from school. This was in early September, and this had been Martin's first day of school. And he came home, and he had a book, and he was so excited about this first book that he had that he wanted to go over and show it to his friend Bobby. Now Bobby, his father, had a grocery store across the street from Martin, and Bobby often worked there during the day. So Martin ran over to Bobby with his book. Bobby, look at my new book, he said. Bobby looked at the book and said, "That's nice, Martin," but he continued to put things on the shelf. And Martin said to Bobby, "Bobby, why don't we go and play baseball in that lot next to your store after you're done working today?" Bobby said, "Well, maybe." And Martin said, "Okay, well, I'll see you later." So Martin took his book and went home and started and did his homework because he was very excited about getting that done, and waited and waited and waited for Bobby to come. But Bobby never came that day, or even the next day. So Martin decided to take his baseball and his baseball glove and a plate of oatmeal cookies that his mother had made over to see Bobby. He knew that Bobby loved his mother's oatmeal cookies. So he went over. "Hey, Bobby," he said. "Look, I've brought you some oatmeal cookies and I've brought my glove over so we can play." Well, Bobby just kept putting things on the shelf, and he said, "No, I can't do it today, Martin." And he went into the back of the store. Martin was so confused about that. He just went off and went home, and then that night he decided to ask his sister Christine about what had happened. "I don't understand why Bobby just ran away. Do you think he's angry at me?" And Christine said, "Well, I don't think so, Bobby. I think you should go over again tomorrow and ask him." And Martin said, "Okay, I think I'll do that. Thanks, Christine." So that's exactly what Martin did. He went over the next day, and Bobby, of course, he was there working on the shelves again, and Martin went over and he said, Bobby, what's going on? You haven't come to play baseball?" And Bobby said, he just looked like he was going to cry. And Martin said, "What's wrong, Bobby?" And Bobby said, "I can't play with you anymore, Martin. We can't be friends anymore." And Martin said, "Why not?" And Bobby said, "Because my father says that blacks and whites don't mix, that black people and white people can't be friends." Well, Martin was so surprised. Bobby was so sad and ashamed that he ran out the back door, and he and his father went home. Well, Martin walked back home again, and that night at dinner with Christine and with Martin's father and Martin's mother, he told them all what had happened with Bobby. And Martin's father said, "Yes," he said, "some white people just think that they're better than black people and that we shouldn't do things together." His mother shook her head and said, "Yes, and that's why some white people think that black people and white people shouldn't drink from the same water fountain or go to the same restaurants or even the same schools." "Well, that's not fair," said Martin. And Martin's father said, "And you know what, Martin? I don't like being treated differently because of my color and because of the color of my skin." And Martin said, "You're right, Dad, that isn't fair." And he thought about it and thought about it. And then he said, "You know what? Maybe I could work to change people's minds about that and to make it so that people would see that we could all be together and be friends and all be able to do the same things." Martin's father and mother both smiled at that and said, "Well, Martin, maybe you can." Well, Martin never forgot the lesson that he learned that day. He spent his life trying to change people's ideas about friendship and about fairness. And although he is no longer with us today, the dream he had of living in a world where all people treat each other fairly still lives on. Many people from all parts of the country and the entire world still continue to do his important work. 2 weeks ago, we celebrated his birthday. During this month of February, we all continue to do his important work by studying and remembering about the history of Black American people. And that's the story of Martin Luther King's lesson. We will put Martin's mother and father back in, and his sister, and his friend Bobby, who was very sad about not being able to be friends again. And then finally, we'll put Martin back in the box. You might want to think about making your own box of this story for Martin Luther King and retelling it at home or making up new stories about Martin. Hi, so I'm going to remind us of our rainbow promises, because sometimes, you know, when we live together in communities or even families, it's hard to be together. It's hard, we sometimes get angry with each other or unhappy. So in Unitarian Universalists, we make promises about the way we're going to live together and get along together. So our promises start with the red promise, which is respect all people. And then we have the orange promise, which is offer fair and kind treatment to all. And then the yellow promise, which is yearn to learn about ourselves, others, and the mystery that some people call God. The green promise is to grow by exploring what is true and right in life. Our blue promise, believe in our ideas and act on them. The sixth promise is the indigo promise, and that is to insist on a peaceful, fair, and free world for all. And finally, our violet promise is to value our home earth, which we share with all living things. So, now I have some wondering questions for you all. And these are questions that you can talk about with together with your moms or dads or whatever adults you have in the house, and they have to do with the story that you just heard today. And the first wondering question is, I wonder if you have ever seen or heard of any of this story before. I wonder what Martin was thinking about after his friends said they couldn't play together anymore. I wonder how you would feel if that happened to you. I wonder how it would feel to be told you couldn't go to certain places because of the color of your skin. I wonder what was your favorite part of the story. And I wonder if this story reminds you of any of our Unitarian Universalist promises that I just talked about. So have a good discussion talking about some of these ideas. And finally, we're going to blow our chalice out today and sing the song that we always do when we do that. And it is, we'll take the chalice off and we sing, go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Have a good month. Bye.